Well, welcome back to the Game Pack. It's me, it's Tyler, and we've got a hefty one in for you today. I'm joined today, as always, by my good buddy.
Hey, it's me, it's Brandon. I'm sorry, I was just eating my pork bun.
Oh, dude, I hope it was nice and savory today.
It was. Now I have a health bonus.
Health bonus for the podcast. Yeah, we got a good one to get into today, buddy. And I think you're going to need that health bonus because it's a chunky one. We got a bit of a chunk to play through. But I had a great time with it. What are we talking about?
Talking about Sleeping Dogs, originally released on August 14th, 2012, developed by United Front Games, and published by Square Enix. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute, the history of the game, because it's really interesting.
Yeah, I want to dig into the history. There's a lot to discuss, a lot to go over there. So let's take it away, Brandon. What do you think me and the viewers should know, the listeners should know, before going into Sleeping Dogs? What's some good background info? So,
without even consulting the Wikipedia article I have pulled up, because I did some research, the Wikipedia article does a pretty fine job of summarizing everything I wanted to say, but I'm going to add in some extras that I've seen in other sources as well. But before we even touch that, this is a GTA clone. If you've played a GTA or a GTA-like, then you kind of know what to expect with this game. Big open world, you can do crime, you can steal cars, there's side activities, big set-piece missions. But this game is a little bit more geared towards melee combat, hand-to-hand, like Kung Fu movie-inspired kind of set pieces. It reminds me a lot of like movies, not only like old school movies, like your Jackie Chan style movies, like Rumble the Bronx, Rush Hour. I think of Rush Hour almost instantly when I play this game. But if you don't mind, I'm just gonna read straight up the development history on this Wikipedia article here. Sleeping Dogs. If you've played a true crime game, which was a GTA clone back in the day, one of the GTA clone, there was True Crime Streets of LA and True Crime Streets of New York.
Busted game.
That game, I played that one on GameCube, and I was like, this game, is it like this on every other console? Because it was.
I played it on Xbox, and it was broken.
Streets
of LA wasn't like that.
It was ambitious, though. It was ambitious. Yeah. You got to give games credit for that sometimes. Now, Streets of LA, I remember playing the demo for that and be like, there's no way this game is this good.
And we could talk more about Streets of LA down the road, but I was a big fan of that game as a kid.
So this game originally was going to be a game called Black Lotus, and then it was going to be turned into a true crime Streets of Hong Kong, or True Crime Hong Kong game, and then it turned into Sleeping Dogs. We're going to talk about why. So Black Lotus was being developed by Treyarch. We all know Treyarch, right?
Spider-Man.
They did the Spider-Man, and they came to be the Call of Duty developers. A lot of people are like, oh, the Treyarch ones are the good ones, because
for sure.
They had like that.
Dude, that was such a conversation happening in what, like the early 20-teens.
It was like Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and then whenever it got the Sledgehammer, like, oh, everyone's like, oh, the Sledgehammer ones are bad, and they became like just a rotation of the yearly ones. It's like, this year's the Treyarch one, this one's the Infinity Ward one. So Treyarch was making this game called Black Lotus. It was canceled the same year and turned into True Crime Hong Kong. The game featured a female protagonist and was set to be an action game with heavy comparisons to Hong Kong action movies, but Activision, that was the publisher, later decided that this move would not be successful compared to other games released at the time. Toward the end of 2007, Activision approached the newly founded United Front Games, which consisted of 10 people, to develop the idea of Black Lotus into an open-world game with a male protagonist instead of a female protagonist. United Front accepted, and Activision provided sufficient funding for 180 employees. Now let's talk about United Front Games for a second. These guys were made up of a lot of people that had experience with open-world games. It was people from Volition, which made the Saints Row games, Radical Entertainment, that made Simpsons.
We know them well,
Simpsons
don't we,
Hit
buddy?
And Run. That might be one we play, man. I love Simpsons Hit and Run. And
but hold on, don't. You can't pass over the legendary Hulk Ultimate Destruction that we played together.
We did.
For some old content back in the day.
We need to go back and finish that.
Dude,
Ball and chain,
Radical.
man.
Radical has quite the discog.
Yeah, they made some great games, and then there was even some people from Rockstar Vancouver who made Bully
Yeah.
in here as well, just to name a few. A year into development, Activision proposed that Black Lotus be made part of an existing franchise, True Crime. They wanted to do that because they thought that an existing IP would help give it a boost on sales. Also, they wanted to make it a male protagonist and not a female protagonist because now this is hearsay. It could be true, could be false. I'm leaning more on true here. Activision
Crime.
was like, we don't want a female protagonist. We want a male protagonist because people like games with male protagonists more. I don't think
definitely
that's
of that era,
necessarily
big
true,
time.
but they did say that this female protagonist was going to be pretty heavily inspired by Lucy Liu, the actress. So, True Crime. The sales of the previous True Crime games had been disappointing, but Activision felt the innovations in Black Lotus could revitalize the franchise and make the game successful in its own right. Activision attached the game to the series and revealed it to the public as True Crime Hong Kong in November 2009. They delayed the game until 2010 to allow further refinement. Despite progress in game development, the release of the financial report for the last quarter of 2010 on February 9th, 2011, Activision announced the cancellation of True Crime Hong Kong. The publisher said that due to quality issues, further investment would not make the game competitive in the genre, even with their most optimistic projections. Although United Front Games shared this sentiment, executive producer Steven Van Vandersmet, I'm probably butchering that.
That seems like a good attempt.
He expressed in an interview that True Crime Hong Kong was playable from start to finish and virtually complete in terms of content prior to Activision's cancellation of the project. Vander Vander Mescht Vander Mescht said
Good enough for me.
said the game stood apart from the competition. I remember seeing True Crime Hong Kong, like maybe in some magazines, and I was super excited because I thought that the something about games that are set in LA and New York are always like vanilla to me, and I always like not necessarily exotic locations, but something that's not like America, specifically the
Yeah.
two biggest cities in America.
That's totally fair. I mean, going the catalog of games that we just rattled off, so many of them take place in something that's either literally LA or New York or a sort of like, a fictionalized version of LA and New York. So having an open world game like this, like it felt novel. Even though
yeah.
it was a clone of so many different ideas, it felt novel being in a new
And
environment.
it fit the themes. Like thematically, it was going to fit with like the action like kung fu movies, right? So on June 22nd, 2011, Activision CEO Eric Hirschberg explained that the budget and development delays were contributing factors in its cancellation. According to Hirschberg, the increase in budget and subsequent delays meant that the game would have to be a pretty incredible success for Activision to have an acceptable return on investment. Due to competition posed by other titles, particularly Grand Theft Auto, which GTA 4 was going to be coming out, and Red Dead Redemption, Activision's view was that True Crime Hong Kong was not the level of quality that it could compete. United Front Games cut 120 of their 180 staff, with the company's solvency in doubt until August when Square Enix acquired the publishing rights to the game. However, Square Enix did not buy the True Crime IP and retitled the game Sleeping Dogs. Square Enix London Studios general manager Lee Singleton said he recognized the game's playability and potential. United Front Games' president Stefan Wessels stated that he was excited to work with Square Enix London Studios. 60 people were then added to the development team, and the game was released on August 14th, 2012. So that's a little bit of the development history. So we had a game, Black Lotus, that was to be more of a female-led action kind of kung fu style gritty game. Then it turned into True Crime. Then True Crime got canceled, and then Square Enix, of all people, bought it, brought it back to life, and renamed it Sleeping Dogs. So when you play this game, I don't know about you, whenever you play, it feels like a True Crime game. Specifically, as soon as you start fighting as Wei Shen, and you start doing that like idle bouncing fight, it looks just like how the other protagonists were animated in True Crime.
I had a flashback and this is jumping ahead just a little bit to what we're going to talk about, when they tutorialized the gun combat, and one of the first things they do is like, hey, you know about tires? You can shoot tires out. Dude, that was that was something that's True Crime Streets of LA. They were like, we want you to know. It was huge. It was huge to that game. Like, there was, if I remember correctly, there were upgrade like paths that improved your tire shooting. Like you would have an easier time aiming. The reticle would be smaller, and it wouldn't have as much sway as you upgrade your tire shooting. That was such a fundamental component to that game, and it carried over. Shooting tires turns out to be fun.
Yeah, well, also I remember in True Crime Streets LA, there was like a little trick. If you shot their license plate, the whole car would flip up, and then you could shoot the underside and it would explode. So True Crime was really, it was leaning more,
not a bug.
Yeah, it was leaning more into like the kind of ridiculousness of action and less so the realism of other games like GTA 4.
It was more camp than it was like what's the term I'm looking for? Parody. It wasn't full in like Saints Row became parody. Where I think Saints Row you could probably say it initially started out as just campy. They made it just parody of Grand Theft Auto. And True Crime was always a campy version of that. And they never went fully down the road of parody, which I appreciate, because parodies are...
I actually really enjoyed the stories. I didn't actually finish Streets of LA. I didn't own Streets of LA, but I finished Streets of New York, and I remember...
that's crazy.
Even pushing through that game, I mean, there was some like when I say broken, like it was unplayable.
It's one of the most busted games I think I've ever played.
Game-ending glitches. Like you'd have to restart the entire game.
I played both of those games to completion. I don't know that I owned New York actually. Maybe I just rented that one, but I owned Streets of LA. I played through it a couple times. So Sleeping Dogs, it definitely speaking to me.
Oh yeah. So with that being said, now we got the development out of the way. I just want to bring that up because it's super interesting, and I love that this game had the ability to come out, because I remember being upset when it got canceled, and then seeing it come back as something completely different.
It is nice to have stories like these, because we have just as many or even more stories of games that go through development hell and then never see the light of day. So
and for the few times, people.
I know, dude. They have a strange track record with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
The games they publish so frequently go through development hell and then release, and they're like, it's either like, oh, pretty good, to like, wow, this is actually really awesome. So it's nice to have a game that went through that kind of history and
Square had some weird shopping sprees back in the day. They owned like the Hitman IP at one point. I think.
They did. They really had a Western developer sort of push that they were all in on for a while. That seems to have ended now these days. But we're still talking about an era when they were like, taking risks and
that was
acquiring
what was
different
so
IP.
much more important about earlier generations. They weren't afraid to take risks. But that being said, let's get into the game, man. Would you like to lead us through our we played from prologue to a mission called Chain of Evidence, and I'm gonna pull up my gameplay and scrub it, kind of refresh my memory of what was going on with it.
Absolutely. So let's get into it. The game opens once you start your new game. All of that. It opens on a rainy, dark scene of the Hong Kong docks, a place where all kinds of nefarious activities get up to. And so the first thing that you do is you witness this cutscene of like the super rainy kind of Hong Kong noir-inspired in-scene vibes, and you're getting this like radio chatter, people talking about kind of the situation, what's going on, and clearly they're establishing that there's some sort of gang-related, drug-related, trafficking-related activity happening. And when you were talking about like the influences of this game, one thing that I wanted to mention was you mentioned the Hong Kong action kind of inspirations. This game, and this is interesting, it's John Woo, the director, who is a Hong Kong-based action movie director, who then became so dang famous over there that they brought him over to do stuff in the United States. And movies like Rush Hour exist because of the Hong Kong action movie scene that was going on and flourishing in the 80s. And
it's kind of like how when John Wick came out and revolutionized action movies, a lot of the John Woo stuff was really influencing the action movies.
It was. And he, as you mentioned, I think maybe in the Super Metroid series, when we first teased this, he actually got into games once himself and did Stranglehold.
Yep, PS3 launch title. I remember seeing that in magazines, be like, wow, this looks cool.
It was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But this game it's like got vibes of A Better Tomorrow and Hard Boiled, where it's all about like brotherhood, honor, and like living double lives. And you get that double life theme from the very opening sequences. So yeah, you're right. This is a sting operation. So we've got two sides of the law.
Yep.
Kind of interacting here.
Got a drug deal going on, and one of these guys, his name is Wei Shen, and that's going to be our protagonist. And he's got the stuff. He's the one he's the supplier. He's doing a deal. And of course, almost like in Vice City kind of fashion. Actually, Vice City was a straight sting, but in this one, a Good Samaritan shows up and kind of interrupts the deal and gets murked.
He pays the ultimate price.
But not by Wei Shen. Wei Shen didn't do this.
Yeah. That sets the tone early that like clearly there are lines that this man won't cross.
Yeah,
and
he's not
this
gonna
guy
kill
that he's with is a straight up butcher.
Yeah, he's not gonna kill people. But then the cops show up and they're like, "Freeze! Everybody freeze!" And then it kind of starts off this chase through the Hong Kong harbor. And your first gameplay is this chase sequence. Firstly, I want to add, I'm glad that you don't have to tap any buttons to sprint. I hate tapping buttons to sprint. Holding it to sprint is nice. But you get to kind of tap it as you encounter any kind of obstacle. You can kind of hop over, jump over, kind of get this little slow motion effect.
A little parkouring for you.
Yeah, a little parkour.
It's definitely of the era. Remember when parkour shot off on the internet and it became
Assassin's
super
Creed.
memed?
It was because
Assassin's
of Assassin's Creed 1, which was revolutionary, by the way.
For sure.
But every game tried to kind of add some kind of parkour element or a lot of
your Infamous, your Mirror's Edge we mentioned a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so your very first bit of gameplay is some action sprinting, parkouring through this like the docks, and you run through like what seems to be a fish market or something.
Yeah. Trying to lose the cops, and then
you're crashing through roofs. Yeah,
you make it to the end, but it's a trap. You get caught. Wei Shen gets arrested, and you go to an interrogation room. You go to the police office. They bring you in. And while you're in the holding cell, we meet one of our friends, one of our old childhood friends, because Wei Shen is from this Hong Kong area. And what's the name of the place he's from?
Like
the Providence or something like that.
I wanted to say Serenity, but I know it's kind of in that vein. If we click around, maybe we'll see it somewhere. But you're right. He's in the holding cell, and this is really the first tease that you get of this double life idea, because Jackie sees him actually, and he's like, "Oh, Wei Shen, it's good to see you, buddy. It's me, Jackie Ma from the old neighborhood."
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting vibes of organized crime. Like, this is how these stories communicate.
Yeah.
Regardless of culture, Yakuza, Italian mob. It's like me. It's your buddy from the old neighborhood.
So
remember,
Wei Shen's got a name on the streets. People know him. People.
Yeah.
They know maybe he's a little bit of a troublemaker. He's a hood rat. Now, one thing I want to bring up is the voice talent in this game.
Old Prosperity.
Prosperity, that was the name of the place. Prosperity. Will Yun Lee does the voice of Wei Shen and is an incredible voice actor. Does a lot of voice work and is a accomplished actor. But I wanted to name off some of the names of some of these. I'm not going to name off the whole cast, but some of the ones that I recognize instantly. Robin Shou, that's the original Liu Kang from 1995 Mortal Kombat.
Very nice.
He does a couple voices in here. Lucy Liu, we mentioned earlier. She's involved with the project as well. James Hong from Big Trouble in Little Chinatown. He passed away not too long ago. He's in there. And Emma Stone is in this game. We're going to talk about that later.
You're shitting me, dude.
And
what?
Yeah. And then there's a character we're about to talk about, which is played by Tom Wilkinson, who also passed away not too long ago, who is the the bad guy in Rush Hour 1. And he's also in the Batman movies. He plays Maroni, or whatever his name is.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the main guy.
Falcone?
Falcone. Yes, Falcone.
Yeah.
In Batman Begins. But yeah, a bunch of really great actors of Asian descent, by the way. So really fitting the theme of the game, which I really appreciate. But anyway, continuing. We meet Jackie Ma. We kind of reminisce about our glory days with him a little bit. He's like, hey, when you get out of here, if you get out of here, we should meet back up. Which is great. It's good to connect with some old friends. Fast forward a little bit, and Wei Shen is in the interrogation room. And this is the guy who's played by Tom Wilkinson, is Pendrew. This kind of
that makes sense.
This
okay,
kind of head police.
He's the superintendent.
Guy.
I think they refer to him as.
Yeah, I would assume so. But yeah, they turned the cameras off, man. Something's about to happen. Is Wei Shen about to be a victim of police brutality? No, he's not. Because he's a cop!
Yeah.
He's a cop.
He's a rat.
Wei Shen is a cop. He's undercover. And so we find out that we were playing as an undercover cop, and you wanted to get close to Jackie Ma to get your foot in the door with the Sun On Yi triads.
Yeah. So yeah, this is something that they're setting up already. But I guess I'm not 100% sure on, like, within the storyline, was the arrangement with Jackie Ma, do you think that was designed? I couldn't catch anything in dialogue that made it seem like they had Jackie Ma here at the right time so that Wei Shen could meet him. And I know that Wei was arrested by
they don't really say
cops that weren't in the know, which is a recurring issue. Cops not being in the know and then having to find out about Wei's truth. But regardless, it worked out to be a fortuitous incident for everyone involved.
Either way, even if he wasn't supposed to meet Jackie Ma, maybe him getting caught, because I mean a lot of undercover busts, it's like they go down, they get arrested because that's their way out, that's their safe way out. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was like a two birds one stone situation. Maybe they could catch this guy he's doing the deal with and get him to meet Jackie Ma because they got him in holding, or maybe they're like, hey, we got Jackie Ma here, we know he knows you, let's get you connected. And so that closes the that mission, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the end. You meet up with the superintendent, and he's like, the mission, buddy. You got to get involved with these guys. So go hang out with your friend, and let's see what we can get going here. So we're sent out back into the world, not with full control over Wei Shen yet. We don't have the ability to free roam yet. But we're given the story's impetus right here, where it's like, you got to go, introduce yourself, get to know these gangsters, and we got to start working from the inside out on this one.
Yeah, and so we're trying to get connected with a guy named Winston Chu, who is a red pole, which is basically not a capo, but kind of like a leader in the Sun On Yi triad network, if you will. And Jackie Ma's gonna take us there, and so he's like, hey, let's go meet Winston. And as we're going that way, we're checking in with this lady, and Jackie Ma's trying to pull some moves, and then some gangsters show up from a different triad organization. I guess this is the 18K triads.
I don't know, but this dude is rough and tumble. The scars going across and around his dome are insane.
Oh, man, he looks like he got no fighting lost. I hate to see the other guy.
It looks like he got dumped into the wood chipper that I need to bring to my front yard to deal with these limbs, dude. He's scarred up all over his head.
Yeah.
The game's clearly telling us that this is a good friend, an ally that we can rely on.
Yeah.
But no, we get into a massive gang fight.
Yeah, a bunch of bullies, obviously some low-grade gangsters, and we get a fighting tutorial on how do we fight these guys. And let's talk about the fighting system a little bit.
Let's do it.
Very similar to game. So I remember when this game came out, it was being compared to one of the biggest action fighting or combat games at the time, which was the Arkham series, specifically Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. And that game was setting the tone for like fighting multiple bad guys all at the same time. One thing that got a lot of criticism, at least, and correct me if I'm wrong, was Assassin's Creed came on the scene, and it was one of those games where like you would just get a circle of people around you, and they kind of innovated in the counter/parry system where you're attacking a guy and then you see another person and then you counter or parry them with a button. But it got very like these people are going to wait their turn. You know, they're gonna take turns trying to come at you in a whatever order. They're not going to fight you all at the same time. But
and
this game feels like
about Assassin's Creed, they didn't give you the tool set to deal with a big crowd. Like they gave you the counter. I remember playing that first Assassin's Creed at the time and getting pretty good at the counter parry thing, but there was always an issue when you had too many people. It was just not manageable, and that's fair enough. You're playing a single assassin, and like maybe his skill shouldn't be taking out 20 dudes at once. That's more Batman's gig, but it was oppressive when you had a crowd of people. So like they fleshed it out in the later Assassin's Creed, and when they really peaked as a franchise, you had tools to deal with crowds. But this game, it supersedes all of that by just giving you a really powerful counter, which is, I think, straight from the Batman kind of system.
And I think even more notably, this game plays like Bully. The fighting feels like Bully more to me because it's a lot of like tap square in sequence, but then hold it when you want to end a combo to do a certain move. So you could press like square, square, hold square, 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 hold square, or just hold square, and then grabbing and pushing square and holding square in different sequences. It's really just like a lot of single button push, which is I don't mind a simple fighting system like that, especially when they're giving you a lot of tools to play with. Specifically in this game, environmental stuff. Now we don't get the tutorial for it here, but you can grab people and like slam their heads on counters and stuff, which is something
I was running around with that dude in my hands constantly.
It's always fun to watch like a Jackie Chan film. Whenever, because he was really innovative in his fighting. Like, I mean, it's not that crazy in this game, but he was always trying to get like props and the environment involved with his action sequences, and we'll get a lot of that in this game going forward. So yeah, we get to kind of learn the very general ropes of the fighting here. And there's
one thing I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's like a half a dozen people, and it lets you finish the old Scar head up with that environmental kill.
One thing I really like about the combat system here is they did an excellent job of utilizing like fairly realistic looking, like strikes and kind of combat techniques and stuff. Like later in the game, and this is again just jumping ahead a smidge, but I want to talk about the combat system right now. You get a double leg takedown. Like you can literally just double leg a dude and then follow up with some ground and pound. Which is something that you don't see in games like this ever, that I can think of anyway. And he's got a spinning wheel kick that just looks crisp. Like,
dude, I love that. You talk about like that fifth hold square, man.
Yes,
that just
dude. Boom. It's so powerful. You end so many. That's the noise. Because you're always in the fight with
when you get that last hit. It's like in Kingdom Hearts when you hit the last hit, you kind of get that slow mo. But seeing that the animations in this game are incredible in the
it's
fighting.
Tremendous. And I don't know what the research that went into the combat necessarily, but the fact that you get George St. Pierre merch in the special edition, because the game was developed in Montreal or somewhere, it was developed in Canada. So there's this clearly this Canadian influence, but also the developers and I guess maybe the people behind the fighting choreography are paying attention to what's happening in fighting generally. So you get a really crunchy and like fairly, I don't want to say realistic, but you know what I'm saying. Like they're utilizing very real martial arts techniques that are super effective in fighting. And I always thought that this game it deserves the credit for like its research into its fighting, because it's not just like because it's based in China and it's developed in the West, it could all just be fucking Shaolin. Like they could just make it as like tropey for this era as they wanted to. and it would only have been a problem these days. But they didn't do that. They brought like kind of combat martial arts thinking into the game, which is appropriate for a guy who trained to be, I guess, a cop, because I mean, like, it's normal for police these days to train in like jujitsu and stuff like that and use combat martial arts techniques. But
this is Hong Kong.
This is Hong Kong, so there's some flying kicks, dude. Flying sidekick is something I bust out all the time. I love the flying sidekick. And the combat, it's just a treat. It's always a good time. So yeah, we get through these few guys, bust up old Scarhead, and then what's waiting for us right around the corner after knocking out Scarface? It's the Winston meeting.
Yeah, we're gonna go meet Winston in the Golden Koi restaurant. Kitchen looks like it could be a little bit more sanitary, but they probably make some good food back there.
The food is good. Don't ask about their pest control policies.
So, we're going to meet Winston Chu and his bodyguard, who looks like his twin, but with dark hair, kind of.
I know, dude. It's so good.
And I love this low-grade triad feel. Like, we got tank tops and wind pants. Like, this ain't no, like sit down and with a suit and tie kind of business. Like, this is we're bottom feeders. We're starting from the bottom. And Jackie Ma, he vouches for us. He's like, hey, listen, this is Wei Shen. This dude just beat up 10 dudes out here single-handedly. I was just hiding behind the counter. And Winston Chu is like...
With the girl he's trying to riz up.
Yeah, and so Winston Chu is like, oh, really, huh? And he's like, we don't like new people. They're kind of giving you a hard time. And Winston's like, you know what? Actually, I do remember you. You had a sister, right? And he makes a comment about how attractive his sister was and trying to kind of get a rise out of Wei Shen. And he's like, oh, she was with Dog Eyes. Which is a name that we need to remember going forward. It's a lot of interesting nicknames out here, and it's kind of hard to remember all of them. It's kind of like when you play a Yakuza game and you got so many proper nouns getting thrown at you.
Dude,
it's like, and you're trying to remember the hierarchy of all of it. So let's remember the name Dog Eyes. And he's like,
she tried to meet us in the middle there instead of making it, something challenging. It's just Dog Eyes.
Dog Eyes,
which I can remember. Dog Eyes.
He's like, oh yeah, she was with Dog Eyes. Well, where's she at now? He's like, actually, she's dead now. She passed away. And we find out in a little bit. He tells Jackie Ma or Winston, one of the two, I can't remember. He tells she OD'd on drugs when they went to they were living in the States, I suppose, because he did go to live in America for a certain amount of time.
Was it heroin?
And came back. They don't say.
I was thinking it was heroin. I don't know why. I thought I hear that. Maybe it's in the disagreement that we have with Dog Eyes later. Something said about heroin, but regardless, she was. They were brought up in a tough neighborhood and then moved to the States. And as Wei Shen alludes to, those kinds of demons are hard to shake, and they followed her to the States. And
and they're saying that out of the door. Winston's like, look, we're having some problems in the night market right now, and just so happens to be related to Dog Eyes as well. So why don't y'all go take care of it? And so as we go out the back door of the restaurant, Winston's bodyguard and some of his droogs give us a little hazing. Because they're giving us a hard time, they want to fight, and so this serves as our tutorial on how to counter. Hit the Y button when you see a red flashing guy. Very forgiving timing window, but it will give you just kind of this really awesome animation of a counter, and it's really fun when you're surrounded by like a dozen bad guys, and you're just hitting like you're not even really fighting, you're just countering the whole time. It really feels good, and it kind of gives you this like empowerment. It gives you like this power trip kind of feel. It's not something like Dark Souls or even Batman where you have to get a perfect parry. It feels good to just constantly kind of be in the flow, the zen state of fighting. Sometimes I like that in my games, sometimes I don't. It depends on what game I'm playing, but this game, it works with the theme of the game,
this game is high octane. It's all action. You get in a car and you hit the accelerate pedal all the way to the floor the entire time, only braking when the game demands you to. So for that reason, like these combat scenarios, they don't need to be these like drawn out kind of blood and guts fights. it works that you're just basically as effective as Batman. You just don't have the cowl.
Yeah, and so the fight gets interrupted when Winston comes out and is like, "What the heck are y'all doing?" And then Dog Eyes shows up.
Yeah, he pops in.
Dog Eyes is through his dialogue is very obviously a jerk.
Yeah,
making
dirtbag.
very very inappropriate comments and trying to get a rise out of Wei Shen about talking about his sister in front of his face.
Making inappropriate comments. She was the first girl to, slob the knob. And I mean, he's talking about a man's dead sister. It's Wei should be given credit that he didn't hit him with a flying sidekick right there.
Yeah, because he says, I remember you. Your sister was the one that that did this stuff to me. And he's like, oh, do you remember me? Because I'm the first guy that stabbed you.
Stabbed you. Yeah.
And
hard line.
He's like, you remember me now?
Wei Shen was cooking.
Yeah, and so, but he knows he can't touch Dog Eyes because Dog Eyes is kind of an important guy in the Sun On Yi triad. And so Winston's like, you know what? This guy's coming in here and he's showing face, and there's a little bit of like with the bottom feeder, like the red poles, a little bit of a rivalry within the Sun On Yi, and they're both kind of contesting each other for their own territories in the night market. And so we're gonna go do a little. I don't think you would call this racketeering, would you?
I think you would.
Yeah,
I think you definitely.
We're doing some racketeering.
You're a cop, but you do get up to chicanerous behavior. Like you break the law constantly.
Yeah, you're going in, and we're basically we're saying, hey, give us your money.
Protection money. So
we want protection money. And this is a classic mafia / yakuza / triad move where it's like, oh, give me your money and I'll protect you. Or don't give me your money and I'll beat you up and take your money.
Yeah. Right.
But you do get the benefit of protection.
But the protection wouldn't be needed if these gangs weren't shaking everyone down. It's an Ouroboros issue here.
Yeah, but it's like, which gang do you want to pay for your protection? Because as we go through the night market, which this is a really awesome area, it's one of my favorite areas in the game. It's very crowded, very dense, feels like a very busy, like Hong Kong night market, like it's supposed to be. And we're walking to each stall saying, hey, Winston needs his money. And some people are very like, hey, absolutely, here's the money I owe you. And then we go to some of them where people are like, I'm not giving you any money. I don't need your money. And then we're gonna have to rough them up a little bit. We do get some prompts to throw some people in some environmental traps, such as the telephone booth, which is awesome. Lots of collectibles in this area as well. This is an open world game, so there's like little health shrines you can pray to that will increase your maximum health if you find so many of them, and lock boxes you can find that will give you like little bonus prizes like cash or something like that, so you can spin.
I do love that these things shine like beacons.
Oh, I know, man.
The developers know that we're not here for the stupid lost and found collectathon.
Yeah.
We're here. That's the fun stuff.
I don't want to have to look up a guide to find the things,
No, definitely not. But like when I'm driving around and I see a group of baddies, I can almost be certain that there's some sort of collectible. And so when there is, it's just, even if I'm on my way to a mission, you hop out the car, you beat up the baddies, you get the collectible. It's a very rewarding loop, honestly.
Yeah.
Because the combat remains
and a lot of this
fun
is streamlined. Not a lot of this feels like a chore. I feel like a lot of the set piece missions specifically will put you in the way of like really important collectibles. It's like, oh yeah, look, it's right there. Yeah. This shining thing right there. And as we continue our adventures in the night market, we see an old man under our protection that's getting beat up. Oh, actually, he's not under our protection. This old man's getting beat up by this, I'm assuming Dog Eyes' people. So we go and protect this old man, this butcher. I picked up a purse off the ground and killed the last guy by chunking it at his face.
Very Agent 47 of you, appropriate.
And we tell this old butcher, we're like, hey, look, Winston Chu will protect you. Pedro offers you his protection. Winston Chu offers you his protection. And he's like, you know what? I'll pay for that. A small price to pay to keep these a-holes away from me. And then Jackie Miles like, man, we gotta. You look too fresh. You look too fresh, Wei Shen. We need to go get you some good clothes here at the night market, which all of it's like knockoff stuff, which is great. And like I said earlier, I dress up my guy similar. I give him wind pants. I give him a tank top. I want him to look like a bottom feeder. So that's how I dress my Wei Shen, is knockoff Converse, some track pants, and a tank top. Okay, gotta show off those awesome tattoos, by the way.
I think that's the move. You dress for the environment that you're in, and if Wei Shen, like, you just think about it rationally, if Wei Shen comes in there with just immaculate drip, these gangsters are going to be suspicious. So just trying to RP a little bit, you got to dress him up in bottom feedery gang outfits. So that's exactly what I did as well. When they tutorialized shopping, I went and got some track pants and tried to look like just a societal slug.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. And as we get wrapped up in the night market, Winston's guy shows up, and his bodyguard that looks very similar to him but with dark hair.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, Jackie, come with me, let's get out of here. And we're left to our own adventures. Not quite free roaming just yet, but it kind of forces us into one of these favor missions. You can do favors for people, which are morally usually the correct thing to do. Lawfully illegal activities.
Sure.
Usually, like some this lady in particular is just like, hey, I forgot to send my money to the restaurant. You're headed that way anyway. Could you take my money to go pay Mrs. Chu, Winston's mom? And we're like, oh, okay, we're going that way. So yeah, this is our example of doing a favor mission. Of course, we're no favor is as easy as just going from point A to point B. You're gonna run into something like we do over here. We're running into some thugs outside the restaurant. We beat them up and go inside, and we learn a little bit about the face meter. The face meter is kind of like this yellow bar on the opposite side of your mini map. Your red bar on the left is your health. Yellow bar is your face meter. And when it starts to glow, like it fills to the top, it starts draining and it refills your health and intimidates enemies. And you can upgrade that by doing missions like this to get your face meter, your face, aka your reputation, up. It will make it to where you have better bonuses when that does fill up. And it's crazy because I remember, like, by the end of the game, I mean, it's like it goes boom, and like everyone's like, it's Wei Shen. But
it's like the balls meter in Scarface: The World Is Yours. Isn't that interesting? Like, all of these characters, they've got like an ult, they have some sort of ultimate skill, but it's always like wrapped in this intimidation factor. So it's appropriate with the game, obviously.
I like it. I mean, it's like the more stuff you do around town, people start to recognize you.
Yeah, they recognize you. You do some big.
It's like, that's Wei Shen. That's Wei Shen, the legendary Wei Shen. I heard this guy threw a guy into a meat grinder one time.
That's right. Threw him off a building. Which anytime I have the opportunity to throw people over the edge to a gravity-based death, I do it.
Half my fights, the first thing I do is grab somebody and see what highlights red and start just running in that general direction. They're so fun. They're so fun. But yeah, we bring the money to the restaurant, and while we're there, we're gonna go meet up with Winston again, and we're gonna start our next mission, which is the minibus racket. Same thing. We're basically competing with Dog Eyes and a lot of this stuff. He's kind of encroaching on a lot of Winston's stuff. And showing a lot of disrespect, and Winston's fighting back.
I want to say, I think you're skipping ahead just a little bit.
Oops.
There was the night market chase that happens after you go drop off Susan's lunch, the favor. And what was that? It was make an example out of Dog Eyes. Who is this that we're chasing? Do you recall?
Let me scrub my gameplay.
We get into a big fight after the fact. That's what I'm doing now. Ming!
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Character.
Yeah. So instead of going to the minibus racket, I did go up a little ahead. You go right back out to the night market, and Ming is there, and we get like a really cool chase scene. Big
fight sequence on a building.
Yeah, get used to these because you're going to be running through like a lot of crowded areas, bouncing off of people. And it shows you just kind of how you can parkour up stuff. And it's these really cool, elaborate action chase scenes. A lot of sliding over tables, running into groups of gangsters and throwing them into AC units and vents and stuff.
unit, that's right. Yeah, you throw them down the HVAC.
Wei Shen like shreds these guys up. Like he's like the Punisher. He's like the Chinese Punisher.
He is.
Like these people, he might not be killing them. It's kind of like
he's killing them.
Well, he might not be killing them, but he's killing them.
That's right.
Because like it's one of those things like in the Yakuza games where it's like Kiryu does not kill people.
I know he's.
And
never
then you play
killed.
Yakuza 0 and you're literally doing you have a gun and you're shooting people's
everyone.
faces and it's like, well, no, he didn't kill them.
Or you have a rocket launcher shooting cars that are trying to knock you off.
Yeah.
the road.
Same thing
No
with
one
this game.
died.
You have to kind of remember that story wise, Wei Shen doesn't kill, but in the game,
I'm okay with that.
In the game,
so this was a debate in games like what kind of time we're talking here? Like
ludonarrative dissonance with
yeah,
Uncharted.
2010, somewhere 2012 era. I don't know. It doesn't. It just doesn't.
A lot of it
that was
started.
an issue that didn't stick. I don't. Think.
A lot of it started with Uncharted and like the Naughty Dog games, like with Last of Us. And the big discussion I remember being was like, oh, the reason that Joel Miller works so great as a character and the themes of The Last of Us work so well is because it fits the character. This is the kind of guy that would be doing these kinds of horrible things. Whereas if you go to play Uncharted, and it's like if you count how many people you kill by the end of the game, and nobody says anything about it. You know, they're like, Nathan Drake found Shambhala, but he also killed 1,373 people with firearms on the way here. And it's like, but he's not a raving lunatic. He's a character that you're supposed to feel sympathetic for, and he has feelings, and he does the right thing, and he's the hero. And it's like, well, a hero wouldn't be doing these kinds of things anyway. And you would see a lot of that with Batman as well, because it's like, the big thing was like, oh yeah, Batman doesn't kill people, but he beats them till they're like literally disabled and they have to live the rest of their life drinking from a tube. Is that worse than killing them or not? You know, it's this discussion.
Yeah, I don't think that like nuking Madagascar is worth the doubloons you find in the rubble. But that was the core of this debate that was going on.
Yeah, and a lot of it is you can only build games with gameplay that's fun, especially gameplay that's built around violence.
I will say though, if it did anything, that discussion brought to gamers' mind this idea that like you should be considering the actual gameplay. And I kind of referenced this when we were playing Super Metroid. Oh yeah, I mentioned how like when I approach games like any game, I guess really. But at the end of Super Metroid, you're in that segment where you have to kill all the Metroids, and it's my just natural impetus to just be like, okay, an enemy, you kill them. It's the amusement park near level where like you just kill the enemies. That's what games teach you. You kill them till they stop moving.
And some games take advantage of that, you know.
Yes,
like Metal Gear,
that's right.
Solid 3.
Exactly. And so that discussion at the very least brought to mind for people like me and everyone that like the gameplay shouldn't be this thing cordoned off from what the story is doing. The gameplay should reinforce what the story is doing with the characters. And there are some games where it's like you just got to leave those thoughts at the door. The best games, like as far as that will go down in history, are those that marry the story and the gameplay in irreversible ways. But that doesn't mean that you can't have a game that's worth
I love
paying attention to.
I love our hand gestures. No, you're right. But let's rewind to a conversation we had right at the beginning of this recording. This was a true crime game. It started off that way, and a lot of those characteristics from that game carried over, which are these ridiculous, huge action sets. You're doing these like insane things. But then the cutscenes, it's super duper serious. And
you're just that's right, buddy. I'm a cop and I abide by the law.
Yeah, it's like forget about those 7 people I ran over on the way over here.
That's right, dude.
Which you get docked points for. I forgot to say, in these missions, you're gaining triad experience. And you're gaining police experience depending on the activities you're doing. And the more you lean into those sides, you get more of those experience because each one of those have their own skill tree. So you can unlock skills in the triad tree, and you can unlock skills in the police tree. Triad all the way, by the way.
I heard that it's possible not like it can. You can lock yourself out of maxing out your triad score if you don't utilize all of the like bonus XP mechanics.
Yeah.
I don't know how exactly that works out because full disclosure, I haven't beaten Sleeping Dogs. This is my second time to really play it. And I haven't played new content yet. I've already played all the stuff we're talking about. but I haven't gotten all the way to the end, but I did hear that you can prevent yourself from getting max triad.
I remember when I played it, I always lean into the triad stuff anyway because it's more fun. But there's more activities, there's more side quests for being a cop.
That's what it has to be. Yeah, that's what it has to be. So with that in mind, for listeners, and I'm gonna go with this advice myself. Maybe utilize the bonus XP triad.
Yeah, if you see a knife, use it. If you see a hatchet, use it.
See a knife, use a knife.
Yeah.
Utilize the environmental deaths.
See a knife, use a knife. But yeah, we let's get back to our mission. We get this rooftop fight, a lot of cool, I love the environmental kill where you throw the guys in the vents and their legs are sticking out, like a cartoon. And we fight Ming, who we find out fighting him. If somebody has a weapon, like a knife, a blade, anything like that, you're going to want to counter them immediately because fighting them, they've got the upper hand on you. You beat the mess out of these people, and while we're there, we get arrested. Again.
Yeah, this is the moment where the truth of Shen's actions aren't well known. Very, 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 very few people know what Wei Shen is actually up to. Because the agents that arrest you are like, Wei, buddy, we know you're bad. We know you're a bad guy, but if you work with us, maybe we can let you off easy. Yeah. And Wei's he's playing the gangster role like, yeah, shut up, capo, I ain't gonna listen to you type stuff. Yeah, which is when the superintendent comes in.
Yeah, the superintendent.
And he says...
Yeah. The superintendent comes in. And what's this lady's name again? Is it Trang?
Tang? Let's see if I can catch it. Tang. Yeah, Tang. T-E-N-G.
So Ting, and she's going to be kind of like our... we're going to be helping her with some side missions later. Right. But yeah, the superintendent, Pendrew, comes in, and Wei Shen's pissed because he's like, I was almost there. I was almost in. You keep screwing all this stuff up.
Right.
And I'm getting some real Fast and the Furious 1 vibes with Paul Walker's character, Brian
It's
O'Connor.
The double life narrative, dude. It's double life
it's like,
stuff. I love it.
He's kind of invested with the triads, and he might be losing himself a little bit, having a little bit of identity crisis.
Dude, are you reading the like the character profiles from the cops on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. Anytime I see one, I go and read it. And I apologize for this jumping ahead. I don't remember when they first initially tutorialized that. It might be at the end of this mission, for all I know. But the reason I bring that up is because that is something that they mention in Wei Shen's psych profile or whatever. Yeah. An analyst or whatever is like, this guy is perfect for this job to infiltrate the Sun On Yi, but for the same reason he's perfect for this job, he's also a potential liability. His like familial ties to these people go back so far. We have to be cautious with how close he's getting to them. But it's like, it's a bit, I guess, Sophie's choice here. Like, do you use the guy who's perfect but could be compromised? Or do you try to find someone who's not as good? Yeah, there's even a little chatter later in a side mission where they talk about, or is it a side mission or it might be the next mission we're going to do, where they're like, there was a guy who came in here not too long ago and he didn't talk much, and he was a cop, now he's dead. Because was it Dog Eyes or Winston buried him? I think it was Winston's goons. Yeah, Winston buried him 6 foot deep alive and tortured him, and it was bad. So Wei Shen knows the risks, man. He knows the risks. Then we get cut loose and we wake up in our apartment, and this is where you're open to free roam for the very first time. You can go engage in some activities. Not all of them are unlocked right now, but for the sake of our walkthrough, we're just gonna go mission by mission. So at this point, you could have went and gone and done some police side missions or some favors, increased your face meter, stuff like that. I went straight to the main mission. Looks like in my gameplay, and we're gonna go to, like I said earlier, the mini bus racket. Wait, hang on, sorry. Mm-hmm. There's also stick up and delivery. Did you I read the wrong one. I read the wrong one. Yeah, okay, stick up and delivery. That's the one. I have my window right here over the top. I'm not scrolling down enough. That's all good. I think after this one is minibus racket, so we're going to be able to talk about that. Stick up and delivery. That's the one I'm on. I apologize. That's
Yeah,
all good.
this is the one where Jackie he's got this idea for a big
Big score.
a big score. And so we're gonna go with Jackie, and we're gonna find out.
That's right.
We're gonna find out how much Jackie's kind of a screw up, huh?
He is, man. He's a lovable oaf. The type of guy, and this is no spoiler. I don't know anything, but the type of guy that's perfect as a sacrificial lamb for the main character to be like, I gotta get my shit together. But I don't know what's to come for. I don't know Jackie's fate, so I'm not trying to give anything away. But this is how they introduce you to buying vehicles.
Yeah, buying
Because
vehicles.
you meet up with Jackie. He's like, "Hey, come by. I've got this old van." And you start driving. Of course, Wei Shen is the driver. And he's like, "So, Jackie, where'd this van come from?" He's like, "Oh yeah, my uncle runs like a chop shop or something, and he sells like busted vehicles." Which also lets you have another side quest later where you can actually start stealing vehicles and selling them. I guess to his uncle. I don't know if others are buying on the black market, but I have definitely sold one car to Jackie's uncle.
Yeah, so
but
yeah,
anyway,
we can engage in criminal activity on our own time.
yeah, and I am. I'm out there ripping it up.
And
But so
yeah, we're driving to a deal, right? Mm-hmm. And we're
yeah,
disguised.
we don't know what it is though. Jackie doesn't tell. He's just like, "Yeah, man, it's this huge score,
big score.
and we're gonna steal it from Dog Eyes.
yeah.
Winston will be impressed."
Yeah, we're stealing from Dog Eyes. It's gonna get we're gonna impress Winston. It's gonna get our foot in the door for promotions to be more involved with the Sun On Yi, and that's exactly what Wei Shen needs.
So you go there, you get to the docks after some driving, you fight up some goons, you've got the sunglasses and the COVID mask on. I saw an awesome comment on YouTube the other day, and it's like, if I see a mask, I'm out. That's how I feel right now. I see a mask, I'm out. Anyway, Hong Kong. So you're fighting up Dog Eyes goons, man. We got to bust up some more goons after getting to the location.
Yeah, lots of goons to fight.
Tons, dude.
And then
throwing people in dumpsters.
Yeah, someone hops up in the cargo van and takes off with the goods, and so we end up chasing them throughout town. And this is when we find out that there is, you can shift the momentum of your vehicle either left, right, or forward, and kind of like ram people. So there's like vehicular combat. I love it.
I do too. It's so absurd. It doesn't make any sense, and no one else does it to you. But you're just a battering ram.
Yeah, you have Dominic Toretto powers from Fast and the Furious. You can just control your vehicle.
Is this the first time? I think this is the first time that they do any kind of like car combat chasing thing. So this is the first time you would have, outside of I guess
any
exploring
side
on your own
questing.
pace.
Yeah.
This is the first time you would have encountered that.
Yeah, so we smash the van. Jackie Ma hops out, grabs the goods, and brings them in. And Wei Shen's reaction, he's like, "What is this? This is the score?" And he's like, "Yeah, isn't this great?" He's like, "Dude, these are knockoffs. These are just knockoff watches. Like,
Bunch of fake watches.
Winston's gonna hate that we just stirred up trouble for nothing."
Might as well have been some VCRs, but Jackie's way of making it good is to give us a watch.
Yeah.
Is this one that you can go and equip? Is this in our inventory now, this watch?
Maybe? I don't know. I didn't go back and look. That would be funny.
Last time I looked, I have a couple watches, and I don't remember if I bought all of them. I know I did. I bought at least one because it gave me a bonus. But I think maybe you could just equip this crappy watch now.
Yeah. So after we leave, the cops show up, and we get our first like tutorial on how to escape the police. But I was having issues in this part because at the top of the screen where it says escape cop radius or ram pursuers by pushing the X button, it's angling it down, and I couldn't see ahead of myself. So I was just driving. I was more looking at the GPS to drive. It doesn't take up like all of the screen. But like
the tutorial like interface was in the way.
Well, yeah. I had to raise the camera up to kind of see ahead of me. It wasn't
really?
like the worst distraction, but like the way that was angled, I don't know if it was like a visual glitch or if it was the game. I don't ever remember having this issue.
Oh yeah, I need to see that gameplay.
Yeah, you'll probably see it on the video. But like it's just really weird.
That's very strange.
But yeah, anyway, we lose the cops and we drive back to. We go back to the docks.
We go and drop the van off after
Yeah,
after losing the cops.
yeah, and this is where you're open to free roam again. And I
Hmm.
did this mission. Hold on, this is right where it is. Where they leave like a little scooter, like a little scooter for you to drive.
Yeah.
And there's a mission nearby where a guy's like, I want you to go smash up this guy's car, like this race car driver's car.
Oh yeah, sure, I did that one.
And I have this glitch where I got on the scooter, and Wei Shen, I'm watching it right now. Wei Shen picks up the scooter to sit on it, and like sits on it, and then I start driving, and Wei Shen's still sitting there in the air, and I'm driving the scooter with nobody
That's
on
so
it.
weird.
And I drive off, and I just fell through the map, and I ended up having to restart
wow.
the mission because I drove like I went to the there was a little cache you could steal from, like a little collectible. I went there, I was like, oh, I can get that before and still make my time over there. But it completely glitched out. So it's really
That's weird, dude. I haven't seen anything,
It's
any bugs.
It's weird. I'll you'll see it. You'll see it in the
Yeah,
video.
you got to put that one in the video.
But yeah, this is one of the ones, it's like, it's a favor mission that you do where the guy's like, yeah, go to the car, pull the tire iron out and beat the crap out of it, and teach the guy a lesson.
Which, by the way, tutorializing that you can get weapons out of vehicles,
Yeah.
which is actually a cop. I think, is that a cop upgrade? That
There's
you
a
get
there's a cop upgrade
gun?
that you can get guns out of police
Yeah.
vehicle trunks.
That's what
which
it is.
guns are not something you just find laying around. At least not
No,
not in the
dude.
starter areas.
Because I did so much side content. It was a while before I got to the mission where they tutorialized shooting. I had already played like 5 hours of like just all the game stuff, like doing the doing the story and then side missions. So I had played so much before ever getting a gun at all.
Yeah, the only side missions I really did were like the police ones, just to get the free cars and police experience. So yeah, the next mission,
Minibus.
I went to go do some of these
Right.
police cases. Well, I guess we'll have to talk about those later, so I'll just skip ahead.
Oh, wait, are you talking about the pop star?
Yes, for busting pop star. So what's really cool is you can go work for Ting, the inspector lady that we met up with earlier that when we got arrested at the night market, and you can you can solve cases in the world. Now some of them will have to be solved to move the story forward. I'm not sure if all of them will, but I know the first one has to at least.
Yeah, I did notice that because I wasn't really initially, I wasn't 100% sure if we had like, kind of branching story missions like they do in GTA. You get like an R and then L, and like
Yeah.
there would be like 4 different story missions on the map at the same time. So I wasn't sure if they were doing one of those or if the cop ones were totally optional. And I guess I still don't really know.
Yeah, the one for Popstar I think has to be done because you have to go talk to Ming to set it up, and then because
The
later
guy that you beat up.
because yeah, Ming, the guy that we got arrested chasing and beat the mess out of, because later he's going to be in a story mission. We're going to talk about later.
But not all the cases are story dependent.
I don't think so. We'll have to see as we play. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
like that one specifically is just because it's tutorializing the cases. Because that one directly ties to the main story. But yeah, now we go to the minibus racket. And I can't remember why we had to go do this.
Well, we have to go meet up with. We're going to meet up with Winston after doing the watches.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're doing a good job. I've got a potential thing, and he like gives us the bus route. He's like, what do you know about buses or whatever? and I don't remember what Wei says in response or whatever, but he's like, this bus route is the best in the city. It goes across the entire city. It's yours. You just got to go take it from Dog Eye.
That's what it was. He's like, Dog Eyes has been peeing in our yard. We're gonna go pee in his. We're gonna go take the best bus route, which is his. And so that's what we're gonna do. I didn't like this mission.
So Wei's like, oh, thanks, man. Oh, fair enough. Yeah,
I didn't
it's
like
not
this
the
mission
best.
at all, and I'm gonna explain why. So yeah, we leave the restaurant, and basically we load up a bus full of our thugs, and then we go to the bus stops and drop them off to beat up the thugs at each individual bus stop that are enforcing.
But only twice. Like, you don't even get to really do that. It's just like, you drop one guy off, he stays, and at the next stop, you got to get out and fight.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be like,
yeah.
I get to bus drive roleplay, but you don't.
Yeah. No, yeah, we don't get to do that. We had to stop, like, every other bus stop we get out and we fight a little bit.
Yeah.
And there comes a point where we see another bus driving around. Like we're doing
Oh yeah.
and you have to go chase that bus. Now, in my gameplay, I guess I wasn't reading. It says you have to harass him by honking the horn. I just started.
You tried to kill
I
him?
just started trying to. Yeah, I started ramming him. But anyway, yeah, you started honking the horn, and then
It's that ludonarrative dissonance.
yeah,
issue.
I guess the bus driver's more scared of the horn than he is getting rammed by a giant metal box.
That's just average Hong Kong for you.
And so yeah, you harass him and you take his passengers. So you're taking Dog Eyes as people, and you're running the route.
I love this idea that like. Because I did the same thing, actually. Well, I rammed him about 4 times before I realized you just had to honk. And getting on his bus after attempting to murder everyone involved and the passengers being like, all right, yeah, I live right around the corner is hysterical.
Yeah, when you drop off the people, they're like, wow, this is the most excitement I've had in my life in years.
Exactly.
But
it's like, yeah, buddy, I wasn't just trying to kill you. I just wanted to get the
After
bus.
we take those people... this is the part I absolutely hated, was that some of Dog Eyes' guys are chasing you like in sedans, and we had to do some vehicle combat with them, but like you have to slow down for them to like. I was just and you're in a bus, which is super slow. It's like you have to wait for them to drive up to you.
Catch up.
It reminds me of that Need for Speed gameplay demo they did, where they're like, yeah, the AI in this game is, visceral and very difficult. And it's like, well, let me just wait for this guy to pull up next to me so I can hit him. Like
so I can show you.
That's what, like, I'm looking at the gameplay right now. I'm just driving straight and I'm just waiting for them to pull up on side of me so I can like sideswipe them. And I was getting like frustrated. I was like, gosh, like why are these guys are in vehicles that are way more capable? Like they should be catching up to me in no time. I'm just sitting there waiting.
Maybe they're all on the phone like, boss, are you sure this is the guy? He's got passengers everywhere. I don't know, there's some story reason behind it that makes total sense.
But yeah, we drop off all the people, and that's the end of the mission.
Yeah, drop off the passengers, and our next one is identified supplier.
Yeah, so this is your intro.
This the one?
This is your intro to a side activity, a drug bust. I love these.
Okay.
I love doing
Me
these.
too. Me too.
Something that this game gets right is mini games, like little like when I say mini games, I mean like when you're interacting like with a computer or something like that, or doing a little puzzle. I love it when a game has like little fun mini games for like lock picking or hacking or whatever. Some games get it right, some games don't. Like remember, like Bethesda like set the standard for like lock picking mini games and stuff like that. But yeah, you beat up in these areas where there's like a little junction box with a security camera where the people hang out. They just so happen to hang out and do their drug deals here.
Right under security cameras all the
Yeah,
time.
you have to like basically hack into the CCTV and plant a bug in it so that way you can go back to your apartment and watch it and bust the supplier. But my favorite thing is this hacking minigame. I love this hacking minigame,
Yeah, it's
dude.
fun.
You basically have a 4-digit passcode and you have to put in the digits, and it will tell you if they're in the right place or if they're existing on there. And it's like Wordle. It's like Wordle before Wordle, but with numbers. And so like what I always do is I hit 0, 1, 2, 3, and then it'll tell me if any of those are on the board or if they're in the right place. And then if 2 and 3
or not on the board at all.
Exactly. Yeah. So if 2 and 3 are on the board but I don't have them in the right place, I'll start with 2 and 3, or I'll move them in places they aren't, and I'll do the next ones, which are 4 and 5. And then by process of elimination, you just get it. Like I've never failed it.
Me neither. It seems like you can get them on like the 4th one almost every time, unless you just have really lucky placement and you knock it out in 2, which has happened once.
Yeah, it
But
happens.
it seems like usually the 4th turn is the one where you nail it. But yeah, I really love that little side quest chain or whatever. The one thing I wish that they did better was, I wish you could queue up 3 of them to go back to the apartment to watch. Because if you do one and then you do another, when you go back to your apartment, you can only watch the second one. It's like the first one never went down.
Really?
So yeah, maybe I did something wrong.
Because I was gonna say I did some side questing. I went and did a bunch of these, and I did them all. I went and set them all up.
Well, dude,
and I went back and I did like 4 of them in a row, like at the apartment.
when I did the exact same thing. I had two that I was doing in that first little area. I did both of them. When I went back to the apartment and watched or tried to watch the footage of the first one, there was literally nothing there. Nothing to, the people weren't there to like identify the drug dealer. It was empty. It was like an empty camera feed with nothing going on. So I don't know. I'm not sure what happened there, but when I went back to the bus location, there were dudes to beat up. And I was like, I literally just beat these dudes up. In fact, I didn't even...
Maybe.
No. I take it back. That's not what happened. I had to remember. When I went back to that spot, the dudes were gone, but I had to do the puzzle again. And I know that I did the puzzle right. I've done the puzzle for all of them at that point. That was like the third or fourth one I was doing. So I'm not sure what I did. I guess you can queue them up to complete. But I had done two. The first one didn't show anything on the camera feed, even though I got the little notification saying, okay, time to go to the house. Instead of going to the house, I went and did a second one.
Maybe it's because it was like the first one.
I have no idea. But anyway.
Yeah, because when I did that, I had gotten to the end of our area we wanted to play. And I just went and free roamed, and I did like 4 of them in a city we haven't even been in yet. And I just did like 3 of them in a row. And it just let me do it. Because I mean, I have no idea. That would be the way to do it. It's like, why else would you drive back and forth?
Definitely. That's what I intended on. I was like, I'm just going to go knock out these 2. They're in my path. But when I went back, I was able to do the second one. The first camera feed had nothing. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I did something in between to mess it up, but I don't know. That was my literal sequencing of events. It was very odd, though. It felt like something had gone wrong. I was like, surely this wasn't by design.
Maybe it's just like open world jank.
Maybe so, yeah. I don't know. Because so after that point, Brandon, every one of those that I did, I went and did and then went back to the apartment.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and it was like maybe like 3 or 4 of them that I still did in that area.
Yeah,
But I was always making the loop and like, I'll stop at the store.
Doing stuff in between.
Yeah, I'll do a race. So I was doing stuff along the way. But I always had to end my excursions out with those missions because I thought if I do anything in between, it's going to reset it because of that first incident. But regardless, I'm glad to know that it was designed to queue up.
Yeah, I didn't have that issue because I did the same exact thing. Once we do that for this particular one, you call Ting, because, you identify the supplier, and then you call the cops, and if you pick the wrong one, obviously, you have to retry or whatever, or to come back.
Well, what happened? Do you have to go beat the dudes up again?
I think you just have to leave and go do stuff and come back and wait for them to show back up, I think. I don't know. I can't remember. I looks like I got it right on this one, but, I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's like...
Well, what I noticed was that if you wait long enough, the game just tells you which is...
Oh, really?
Which one. Yeah. Because the first time I did it, I was like... I was looking at the screen and I'm like, it had been over a decade since I played this game last, and I remember doing this, but I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. Do I pick multiple? And so I just waited, and on like the 40th second of waiting, like 40 to 45 seconds, it was just like a red outline, like a parry outline on the guy. I was like, this is the target.
Well, I just saw it. I was like, okay, that guy's dressed nicer than everybody else, and he's not just picking his nose, so I'll pick him.
Yeah, and you see him go to the trunk, and he'll like do the coke off the knife and stuff. So they make it very clear.
But yeah, after we do that, we call Ting. We're like, yeah, we got your guy, whatever. It's like, okay, now you know how to do these. And you walk out your door, and this is where our next mission starts. Amanda,
yeah.
Not really much of a mission.
Girlfriend.
Yeah, this is your first introduction to like a girlfriend mission. This is a American girl. She's like, oh, I'm looking for the Old Temple Academy. Do you speak English? And Wei Shen, my Wei Shen, looking like an absolute dirtbag. He was like, oh yeah, I know this place. I'll give you a ride around on my bike.
Wonderful. So strange Hong Kong citizen.
Yeah, you're kind of riding around the town, and this not only is this introduce another character, and she's kind of telling you about like what she's doing here. You know, she finished college. She's trying to find herself. I'm driving like a maniac on my bike, and I get to the place before she gets finished talking. And this is before like a lot of games kind of found out, like Spider-Man and God of War and Grand Theft Auto. They kind of found out ways to, like, if you get to a place too fast or if you get interrupted, they'll pick up the conversation so you don't miss it. This game didn't have that, so she was still telling me like her life story. I was like, we're here, shut up.
I don't care that much.
But yeah,
But then we get the dojo
yeah, we drive her to the
intro.
the first we go to the Kung Fu Academy, and then we take her to the martial arts school. And the
Oh,
martial
sure.
arts
Yeah, yeah,
school
yeah.
is
That's
where
right.
we, it's the old neighborhood martial arts place where a lot of people learn how to fight because they want to be Sun On Yi. And this guy's like, man, I'm trying to keep these kids out of trouble. And he recognizes Wei Shen. He's like, I remember you. Let's see if you still got it. And you get to do some kung fu lessons with him, and you learn a new move, I believe. And he's like, oh yeah, by the way, my jade statues, they're all gone. If you find them, bring
My
them back.
priceless jade.
Bring them back, and I'll teach you a new move.
I love it because his priceless jade statues are like on a houseboat roof.
Yeah,
Okay, go
like
pick
who
that
stole
up.
these and
I
placed them all
know.
over the
Why are
place?
they putting them everywhere? I like this instructor a lot. I've never seen the conclusion of this storyline. I'm not sure what happens, but every time you bring a jade statue, he tells some story about like, "Oh, I remember this or whatever, which is really cool. He reminds me of there's a character from the show The Wire, which is like it exists in the same kind of environment, but in Baltimore instead of Hong Kong. So it's all about like infiltrating drug traffickers and all this kind of stuff and playing both sides of the law and double life stuff. Amazing show. But there's a character in the show who is similar to this dojo instructor where
Yeah.
he has this like this dark seedy past that you're not 100% on, but he goes through something in his life in his story and he decides to commit himself to teaching the youth
Be
how to
respectful,
defend themselves.
honorable too.
Yes, yes, and in The Wire, he teaches locals how to box. And anyway, it's a great character archetype that I'm always here for.
Yeah, there's a very similar character in a movie called The Gentleman that has like Charlie Hunnam and Matthew McConaughey and what's his name? The guy that played is it Colin Farrell? That played the
Oh, do you
Penguin.
mean Bullseye from?
Yeah, him. Yeah,
from
he
Daredevil?
plays like a guy called like the Irish or Irishman or something like that.
Very appropriate.
Same thing. He he has a bunch of kids that he teaches them how to fight and protect themselves, but not to be
In an effort to keep
yeah,
him out of trouble.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I like
I
this
agree.
guy.
I like this character. He's like, oh yeah, this is your fiance, and it's like, no.
Hopefully, buddy.
Yeah, this character, by the way, Amanda, is the one that's voiced by Emma Stone.
I was wondering when you said that if that's who that was.
Yeah, she's. If you listen real closely, yeah, you could definitely hear it. And then
Interesting.
we kind of break off from her. She's like, "Oh yeah, well, I'll see you around." And so yeah, we learn the sweep kick, and he teaches you how to lock on and fight multiple people at the same time. Yeah, at this
Sweet
point,
kick, very useful.
I got the message from Ting here to go do the case before I got the prompt to go do or I may have had the prompt to go to the Bam Bam Club, but I went and did the stuff for Ting.
With
It
Ting?
looks like no.
Gotcha.
I went to the Bam Bam Club. So
Okay.
that's our next mission is Club Bam Bam.
Yeah,
Yeah, we walk in,
which
and
we're sent by. Well, we to set it up, we're sent by Winston for
Yeah.
more conspiring against Dog Eyes. What's the deal? Does he own this club?
Yeah, I think so. It says
I don't
here,
remember exactly.
Benny, the manager of Club Bam Bam, was a friend of his, and now he's working for Dog Eyes. So Dog Eyes just continuously peeing in Winston's yard. He's like, go to Club
Yeah.
Bam Bam, straighten up Benny, the manager. So we go to
Dude,
Club Bam Bam.
I want to say one thing about these characters real quick that I just remembered in a previous conversation we were having about them. The first meeting with Dog Eyes is interesting for a lot of reasons, but when the interaction ends, the player is left knowing how much of a dirtbag Dog Eyes is. Wei Shen has always been an antagonist to Dog Eyes. They've always been rivals for various reasons. But it's the comment that Winston's little clone friend makes that's interesting. Because Wei Shen says, well, Dog Eyes sure hasn't changed. And then Winston's little, like, comrade guy says, yes, he has. He used to be my friend. Which reveals more
Yeah.
about the little goon, Winston's clone, than anything else. Winston's clone being friends with Dog Eyes says a lot about that dude's character, says a lot about Winston's clone's character. Because Dog Eyes has always been garbage. Like Wei Shen acknowledges from the
Yeah.
beginning that Dog Eyes has been trash. If this dude used to be boys with him, this dude is trash too. We're not like there are some redeemable characters in the Sun On Yi, that much we can tell. But there are some that are just not.
Yeah.
And that dude is
We'll
as
see
much
if
of a
I can't remember if they touch on that or not, but I mean, it's a really good observation.
I don't know what happens with the Winston clone guy, but that's a character storyline that I'm paying attention to. So
Yeah.
anyway, Club
Yeah,
Bam Bam.
so we make our way to Club Bam Bam. We get checked at the door. No guns, obviously. We walk in, and we're like, we got to get to the VIP room. We got to go talk to Benny. And the guy's like, well, we by the way, there's like a very, very, I don't even want to call it a mini game. It shouldn't even really exist, but you can hit the Y or triangle button in a conversation when it gives you the prompt to persuade. It shouldn't even really be there. I don't even know why it's there.
What is that? They like the games industry was obsessed with QuickTime events in this era,
Yeah,
and you would just find them in everything for no reason.
It's really unnecessary here. I don't even know why.
It doesn't.
I almost missed it because I wasn't paying attention. I just thought it was a cutscene.
Fair.
It'd be different if it was like an actual mini game, but it's just pushing a button. But anywho's, he's like, yeah, you got to go talk to Tiffany, the I don't know what you would call her.
The hostess.
Hostess, yes, the hostess. She's like, okay, well, let's go sing some karaoke. He's like, can you get me in the VIP room? She's like, yeah, I can get you to the karaoke bar, and then you had to do the karaoke mini game. I don't really like mind the karaoke mini game, but I love the singing by the voice actor that does Wei Shen here.
Yeah, it's very easy to get a good score. We've all played karaoke mini games and games.
The harder ones, it gets tough.
I don't know about them. Do they?
They got some good licensed songs in here, by the way. The song that we do is "I Fought the Law and the Law Won" by The Clash, but they have like "Girls Just Want to Have Fun" by Cyndi Lauper, and "Reeling in the Years" by Steely Dan.
Reeling in the Years, that's it.
Yeah.
I was like, I did a date mission later. Which one was it? Reeling in the Years.
I love it, dude. I love how it sounds like. I mean, and that's something that's big in China is like amateur karaoke, like karaoke bars.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you do the karaoke mini game, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you can go up and see Benny now." So you go to the VIP room, and Benny looks like a Yakuza character, a little bald Asian guy.
Oh sure. Super flashy.
He's like, "I got a message from Winston," and he's like, "Oh, goons, get him!" And we get like a really epic nightclub fight scene.
Gotta have a nightclub fight scene in a game like this.
Yeah, once
it
again,
would be a fraudulent game if they didn't.
Once again, I'm just over here looking for every possible way to throw people into fish tanks, throw them off the rails, hit a guy with a fish. You know, I'm just trying
You end up in the bathroom, you kill a man with a urinal cake.
Yeah, dude, when I went to the bathroom area, I shoved every single person in the toilet. So while the cutscene's playing, there's just like 3 dudes' heads and urinals. They're all just laying there in the urinal.
Dude, did you notice that the dudes in the stalls will poke their heads out? They'll peek over the stalls while the fight is happening. It's just a head. That,
I mean, look, if I was in the bathroom taking a dump and I heard some people getting rough, I'd be kind of concerned too. You want them to bust up in there while you're doing your business, you know?
For sure. That's good stuff. So yeah, we beat up Benny. We get our hands on him.
But Wei Shen, I like the way Wei Shen handles this situation. He's like, hey, look, Winston Chu wants to be your friend. You know, he's like, I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to hurt you anymore. Winston Chu just wants to be your friend. Showing him kind of like building Winston's reputation for him. Wei Shen definitely knows how to kind of get his foot in the door in places.
Dude, that's a good point, because one of the things you read in the little psychological character profiles on the phone is that the thing that has held Winston back from succeeding further in the Sun On Yi is that he doesn't have good subordinates. He surrounds himself with numbskulls. He doesn't have the ability to like talent scout. Everyone around him are just meathead idiots. So Wei Shen, being incredibly competent, not just at fighting, but at like diplomacy as well.
Oh yeah, Winston's gonna have him on speed dial.
It's the thing to level him up, which is why this rivalry with Winston's clone is brewing. Because like that dude he's not capable to move Winston up in the ladder. but
Yeah.
he sees that Wei is.
I like very similar to how GTA 4 improved on. A lot of times, like I'm gonna use GTA 3 as an example. I know that's like the earliest one as far as the 3D era is concerned, but like you just were literally an errand boy. You had no like motives behind what you were doing except for just moving up.
It was like MMO kind of.
Yeah, you did have like a silent protagonist, and ultimately you wanted to get revenge on your old romantic partner who was also your criminal partner, but like the main character is not telling people like, oh, I need you, like Nico Bellic in GTA 4, for example. He's trying to make moves because he's trying to find somebody, and he doesn't reveal it till like a quarter through the game who he's trying to find and why. But that's why he's doing what he's doing. Like he's a sympathetic character, and he's like, I don't like being a bad guy. I'm a bad guy. I'm a horrible person. I know it, but like I was made this way. I don't want to be this way, and with this character, I don't mind like the lapdog errand boy missions, but if they have a purpose, like the whole purpose is moving up and trying to be on Winston's speed dial because you're a cop, you try to bring the whole Sanyi down.
Right.
So yeah,
so some brewing conflict going on in among the social hierarchy here.
Yeah, and we get a call from Raymond after this mission. Raymond is the other cop that is working with Officer Ting or Inspector Ting. And we're just like, hey, he's like basically like, hey man, I want to, we should talk. I want to make sure you're still in line. I don't want you getting your head lost in this game. I want to make sure you still know you're a police officer. And he's just like, you don't know what it's like to be doing what I do. Like, and I understand the sass too, because if, these regular cops that like they don't have to get attached to all this stuff. And so I think it really builds some good character for Wei Shen. Like you can't help but feel for Wei Shen's internal battle and external battle at the same time.
Yeah, the other officers they're always in uniform. They don't have to live the double life. That is the crux of all of these relational issues, is having to be two different people and living them as honestly as he can so that no one around gets suspicious. And I guess the double life, I'll say it this way. The actual double life isn't sure yet. We're not sure which Wei Shen is the so-called real one, the gangster or the cop. We're implied to believe that the cop is the real Wei Shen in the opening of the game. But if I can, read the tea leaves on the story they're trying to tell, that should be coming into conflict soon. Like, which one is the real Wei Shen? So which mission are we going into after Club Bam Bam?
So at this part, I am pretty sure that you have to finish the case for catching Popstar, because I left my apartment after the meeting with Raymond, and I don't have a prompt for the main mission. The next main mission would be listening in. So you do have to go do the case completion for catching Popstar, who is a drug supplier / drug dealer. That's connected. That's who Ming was working with, I believe, because Ming tells you about it before we went and did the Club Bam Bam mission. Or you can do it in whatever order. That's when I did it.
They were. I had them split. I did it the first part, I guess, earlier, and then I did the finishing part later.
This is when you get in the chicken truck and you follow him. Classic tailing mission. Hate those kinds of missions, but we tail him in the chicken truck.
I definitely started that mission by trying to obliterate him with the chicken. I definitely started like that.
Dude, oh, it's funny because the instructions are right there. It's just your lizard brain takes over. You're like, I gotta hit something.
I must destroy my predator, my prey drive took over, and it was like, gotta eat him.
I'm almost embarrassed to put some of my gameplay up whenever I edit this because I do some similar stuff. Like I just do some stupid things, but
I love.
You also got to remember whenever I'm playing, I'm usually in a rush because I'm pressed for time. But this is the one where you're dressed up in the nasty garbage clothes and you're taking pictures of the deal going down, trying to get evidence of Popstar. And we see one of Wei Shen's magical abilities where he can make himself vomit on command.
Dude, that was insane. There was nothing about that.
Off guard. He's like acting like he's drunk, like he lives on one of the boats, because so people live on boats, like boathouses. And
which is where you find a jade statue.
Yes, you do find a couple of jade statues.
Just on the roof of one.
Always bring them back immediately. Learn some new moves.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you're like, oh come on, I gotta get to my boat. I'm drunk, and then Wei Shen just vomits on command, and then the guard there is like, ugh, gross, and he starts going to throw up.
You can go wherever you want, weirdo.
Yeah, but not only because like, not only are you throwing up, like you're walking like you get that classic character to move slow because they're sick.
Yeah.
You know, you feel the heartbeat in your controller, you know. But yeah, we take some pictures of Popstar making his deal, and we let him get away, and we basically hand over Popstar on a silver platter to Inspector Ting. But not before you escape the cops in your chicken truck. You do that. I'm always horrible at slamming into everything and losing my police XP because I'm always, like I said, always in a rush.
Yeah.
But I want to comment real fast before we move on to the next mission. Let me see here. I want to talk about the radio stations real fast. Okay. We didn't really talk about, a lot of open world games can really be boosted by their licensed soundtrack. Unfortunately, this game is not one of those.
Yeah, it's very thin, and
it's thin.
I wonder,
and some of it's just not that great. But there's like 2 radio stations that are really good that fit the theme.
Well, they focused on giving variety, which I appreciate. There's like a classical station.
It's like a death metal, and
yes. So there's a variety there and because of that probably means that it's not going to speak to everyone. The variety. You do find 1 or 2 stations.
I like the techno, like the club, the underground, and the hip hop. I like those stations. Yeah. There's some pretty good tracks on those, and it really fits kind of what's going on screen. But I wanted to bring that up because some games, dude, it's like they have like timeless, like Grand Theft Auto, they never spare on the or they always spare extra cash in the budget for the soundtracks. The soundtracks never miss in a Grand Theft Auto game, except GTA 5. It was okay.
Yeah, the licensing on music has got to be a nightmare.
Yeah, now it's insane. I mean, games can't get re-released anymore. GTA Vice City has some of its most iconic tracks have been removed from its vanilla version, the OG version. Like, it's
trash.
One of the first songs you hear, the very first licensed song you hear in Vice City is "Billie Jean" by Michael Jackson. That's not in the game anymore. They took it out because of licensing.
What is played in its stead? Like, did they just swap out for a different track?
Just play another song on the same radio station.
I see what you're saying. I thought you meant like in a cutscene.
No. It's just like when you get in the very first car. That was back before they didn't really use a whole lot of licensed music in the backgrounds. They do have them. Specifically, I know "Dance Hall Days" by Wing Chun plays when you meet the colonel on his boat. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked.
Yeah, we have houseboats to deal with, but Popstar's been arrested.
Yeah, Popstar's been arrested, and we need to go do the mission listening in. But before we do that, we got to go meet Winston.
That's right.
And when we meet Winston, because Popstar was arrested, Winston's suspicious that there's a rat in his midst, and he suspects Wei Shen because he's new. He just showed up. And that's where Ming is like, man, he's a rat. Ever since he showed up, everybody's getting arrested. So they put you on the table, and like we said, Wei Shen knew the risks. And Winston pulls out his comically large golden desert eagle. He's going to blow your brains all over the table. And Wei Shen, being the fast thinker that he is, spins it on Ming. And the only reason that Wei Shen spins it is because it's either him or Ming. And Winston blows Ming's head off right there.
Ooh, cop work is tough. That's a brutal one.
It was either him or Wei Shen. He had to choose.
He threw that guy way under the bus. He said, I didn't do it.
I mean, Ming was a dirtbag, don't get me wrong.
He was a dirtbag.
But he didn't do what he said he did.
He
didn't do what he said he did. So that's whenever we find out, hey, we gotta get a bug. We gotta plan.
So we go talk to that girl at the Radio Shack.
Yes, the very provocative, unnecessarily provocative Radio Shack girl.
Yeah.
Who we
when you're as hot as Wei Shen, I mean, these ladies throw themselves at you.
We may or may not. This guy snatches the bag out of your hands, by the way. You got to chase him to the park and catch him, beat him up, and get the stuff back.
So absurd.
I was actually able to catch him before he got out of the park. I don't know how I did it, but I did.
Oh,
it.
Nice.
By running diagonally instead. And it's one of those like classic Space Invaders themes. It's like, don't shoot. Yeah. Don't go where he is. Go where he's going to be. And
where he's going to be. That's
I ended
right.
up catching him before he got out. So you get the bug, and you get to go to the restaurant. I stopped by the store and got myself a black tank top because I like the black one better.
You said things have changed. I'm dark.
Yeah, I'm getting a little darker now.
It's dark way.
So you do a little bit of climbing up to get into like the glass,
like the skylight.
Yeah, the skylight. That's the word I'm looking for. The skylight of the shop. You wait for Winston to leave. Also another jade statue in there. Pick that up.
Of course.
And then you gotta do
save a jade.
You gotta do the mini game where you plant the bug. You like unscrew the vent, Warriors PS2 style, and then I like the mini game of matching the thumbsticks. Yeah. My stupid self, I hit the cancel button whenever it said, "Congratulations, the bug has been installed." I hit the cancel button. I had to do the minigame twice.
Oh, God.
I thought it would just skip it. I just thought it would skip the cutscene. It was
yeah.
just me being impatient and being on a time crunch. But yeah, we plant a bug in there, so now the cops can hear everything Winston is saying. Also, there's a lockpick minigame, which I really enjoyed. I thought the lockpick minigame was pretty good.
Yeah, they kind of just throw these little minigames at you without... They don't like advertise them or anything else. It's just like, I was not expecting the bug planting minigame to be its own little like bespoke thing you had to do. I assumed it would be, go up and press Y and you're done.
Yeah, and the way that they throw them at you, they just, the lock picks, that's one of the fun thing about the lock picking in Skyrim is it happens so frequently depending on how you choose to play the game. And in this game, it's just kind of like, here's a locked door.
Yeah, and it's super easy. They don't make it challenging.
At this point, you can move on to our next mission, which is actually our stopping spot, or you can actually start the next case for Ting, which is like busting somebody who's been murdering other street racers. You can start that case here.
I started that.
Me too. I also started it.
Okay.
Sure, we can talk about it if you want. We get to
Is that side content?
I think you have to do it first. I think you have to start it first, and then you get the call from Tiffany to go to Club Bam Bam.
Okay.
But you get to do a street race. Racing not too bad in this game. It's not bad.
It's not.
It's not necessarily the best. It's not the worst. It's decent.
Well, having the bumper car mechanic makes some of it like just kind of trivial. Like you get money and access to fast cars very quickly, so you don't have to murder your compatriots in racing. But if you do, it's just super easy.
Yeah. These kinds of games, like Mafia 3 got a racing, and not DLC, but like more content added to it. You could do like street races and stuff. And I feel like depending on a game's driving mechanics, like I love doing street races in games like Grand Theft Auto, where like there's just like a lot of really good physics feels to the vehicle, specifically in GTA 4. I mean, it's fun in GTA 5 as well, but like this game, the driving is very stiff. It just doesn't feel like the camera is solidly locked behind you. You're never having to manipulate the camera, and like when you do like drifting doesn't feel absolutely. It's fine. It's not the worst, but
it's serviceable.
Yeah, it's just I'm not itching to go do the street races. But they do get you money, so I'm going to do them.
They get you a lot of money. So I've started doing street racing a little bit. I haven't dabbled in it as much as I have some of the other side content, but I think I've completed like 3.
Yeah.
So I've gotten a lot of money. My garage is pretty well filled out at this point. On the driving, the biggest problem that I've had, like mechanically, is backing up. The camera goes insane.
Yeah, backing up, and also when you go in reverse, I'm not sure like if it's every car, but like the cars are so slow reversing, like insanely slow.
Dude, I'm not
weird.
sure what happened there, but like sometimes I'll like if I'm doing some more roaming kind of activities, and I try to turn around in an alley, like back up and turn around, the camera starts jumping around and can't find itself in the buildings. So I end up backing up blind or just doing a different solution. The reverse mechanic is just very weird. Obviously, that doesn't affect the racing as much. But that was the one very strange driving thing that I found. But the major driving thing to talk about besides the bumper cars is Wei Shen's uncanny skill at jumping out of a moving vehicle and landing.
Classic true crime. Classic true crime.
Yeah,
man.
dude, yes.
I love it. I love doing that.
When do they tutorialize that skill?
I don't know.
Have we even gotten to that point?
I don't think so. We haven't even got a tutorial on that yet.
Because that was something that, like, I just started doing because I don't remember if I, like, pressed X and I was like, oh, or A, and I was like, oh, right.
Yeah.
I forgot you could do this.
And then
I started jumping around like crazy.
We haven't been told to do it yet. I think we just do it for fun. I like to just hold my door open and drive sometimes just because it's funny.
For any opportunity.
It's very hard to do. You ever try to do that? You ever try to open up your door at 60 miles an hour?
Oh,
the wind resistance on that door?
Yeah, no. Wei doesn't have to worry about wind in Hong Kong. I think all those skyscrapers break it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did the racing mission. I love the idea. The setup is that someone is murdering racers, but if you do a race, you can murder all the racers if you want.
Yeah.
Also, dude, their cars are free for the taking.
Yeah.
If you go up to a racing side mission, they've got a line of cars, so you can just grab one and leave, and no one does anything. They're just like, all right, yeah. So anyway,
and if you have enough police experience, you can unlock a Slim Jim to like just go and just take the car.
Boom, you're out there in an instant. I always like to start those by like driving at 100 miles an hour and jumping out and killing everyone at the racing start. So when you're talking to the guy about the race, there's just dead bodies and busted cars.
So yeah, we get a call from Tiffany. She's like the hostess from Club Bam Bam. She's like, I need your help. Something crazy is happening. I really, really need your help with. And so we're like, okay, but it must be an emergency. We got to go help Tiffany. And she's like, this guy, who is it? What's his name?
One of Dog Eyes?
Yeah, it's one of Dog Eyes' people.
Charlie? Is it Charlie?
Charlie, yeah. Charlie Pang or something like that.
Okay.
He's like, oh, he left his gun here. There's a gun. Oh, a gun.
This ain't America.
Yeah, this isn't America, man. This isn't especially in the South. Like, whenever I go to Walmart, it's safe to assume that there's at least 1 in 10 people have a gun on them. It ain't like that. Ain't like that in this country. Guns are very highly restricted, and so that's kind of also plays into this game's excuse for why you're not always fighting people with guns. Because like in GTA 6, when it comes out and you're playing in a South Florida setting, you're probably not going to go, you're not going to want to run around and just punch random people in the country in the face because they're going to pull out a gun and shoot
everyone's packing.
Yeah, it's different in China. So we call Raymond and we're like, hey, we got this gun. Can you use it? He's like, yeah, meet me. We can use the gun for something to, move the case forward a little bit. Maybe we can match some prints or whatever. So we go to meet Raymond, but Pindrew meets us here instead. The what'd you say?
Superintendent.
The superintendent, and he gives us a very quick rundown. He's like, "Hey, you should use that gun. I'm gonna teach you how to use that gun in case you haven't used it before." Which at this point, he puts
Wei Shen on some game.
Yeah, at this point, if you haven't explored the other islands, because there are areas in the other islands where you can just pick up a gun and carry it with you. This potentially could be your first time using a gun in the game.
Yeah, it was mine.
So it's like, shoot some boxes, destroy all this stuff out here, shoot these, and then it kind of puts you in like this kind of like detective vision where you're seeing what happened.
It reminded me of, have you seen the Boondock Saints?
Yes, with Willem Dafoe. Yeah.
Relives the
It was a firefight!
Yes, dude, it was, that's exactly the scene you live here. But you're Wei Shen in the shootout.
Yeah, you kind of figure it out.
This is how they tutorialize.
Yeah, they're teaching you how to duck and cover. Gun mechanics, they're all right. They're all right.
Fine. It's about like the driving.
You can tell whenever they kind of Frankenstein this game from the Black Lotus to True Crime to Sleeping Dogs. You can tell that they had to put the gun. Activision was probably like, you got to put guns in this game, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah,
Everyone loves.
Aren't gonna buy it.
Yeah, we got to get guns in here, and you can tell that like the gunplay wasn't something that they wanted to put in here necessarily, because they weren't even going to put it in Black Lotus, from what I understand. It was supposed to be strictly kind of like that Jet Li game on PS2, Rise to Honor. It's supposed to be
Rise to Honor, specifically
like melee based. And if there were guns, I don't think necessarily you were supposed to be using them.
That's a really interesting limitation I wish they had stuck to.
Me too. No, absolutely, because the guns, I mean, while they're serviceable, I don't like really using them in this game. I tend to just vault.
Like shooting out tires.
Yeah, I just kind of vault over things, go in slow motion, shoot everybody in the head, and move on to the next thing. Yeah. But it's much more
some
fun.
Max Payne vibes here.
Yeah, it's much more fun to fight people with your fists. But yeah, there's a guy that was killed in this deal. I'm not sure. Is this the Sun Yi, or is this 18K? 18K is the rival triads. I think it might be them. I'm not sure. Either way, Pindrew is like, give me that gun. After he teaches you how to shoot tires out and stuff like that. And he puts bullets into this guy's corpse. And Wei Shen's like, what the heck are you doing? And he's like, oh yeah, now we can lock up this guy forever because he's attached to it. And it's like, dude, you're framing him. Like, that's not right. So we realize that Wei Shen...
It's a tough spot, dude. It's a tough call.
He can't say anything because that's the superintendent. B, the superintendent obviously has a gray moral compass, maybe a little bit more on the unmoral side of it. And Wei Shen is like, hey, I might be undercover and I might have to do things I don't like to do, but I ain't doing that. I'm catching him fair and square. I'm catching him by the book, and this is not by the book.
It's a question of if the ends justify the means, because if you know that this guy that they're trying to capture is like a murderous psychopath, and they can't pin anything on him because he's so slippery, if they can pin a layup on him like this and get him off the streets, that seems like the more moral thing to do. Yeah. Like, if you have an opportunity to lock up this guy who's a murderer freak, and you can't actually put his actual murders on him.
Yeah, it's one of those things we talk about it. It's moral, like what is morally correct versus what is legally correct.
Yeah, sure.
Like for example.
And in this instance, Superintendent Fellow was not legally correct, but he might be ultimately morally correct while still doing something dirty.
He's like, yeah, we know this guy's out here murdering. We know he's out here doing horrible things. Either he's doing the murder or he's getting other people. People are getting hurt, and it's because of this guy. And pinning it on him morally could be the correct thing to do. But
it's like nailing Al Capone on tax evasion.
Yeah, get him on something. I mean, the system. Yeah. Depending on, I know this isn't a legal podcast or
I am a lawyer,
but I mean, the system is broke a lot of times. I mean, there's a lot of systems that are broken. Like, look in recent news now. I mean, this doesn't have to do with like justice, but it does have to do what's legally correct versus what's morally correct. With Epic laying off 1,000 people, it just came out today that there was a guy who has like cancer, and he had a life insurance policy with Epic Games, and he got let go and lost it. And it's like,
Jesus, that's tough.
Sure would be nice if they would, do something for him to let him go instead of saying, hey, did you check Twitter? Because you got let go last night, you and 999 other people. What is morally correct versus what's legally correct? They don't have to do anything to that guy. I mean, which sure would be nice if people who are in much better positions than him would give him the things. But, to more relate it to, legal stuff, it's the same thing with Fast and the Furious. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the very first Fast and the Furious film.
Oh, I'm well familiar.
It's the part where, spoiler alert for a very old movie, he's trying to do Paul Walker's character is trying to do everything he can to pin it on somebody else.
Brian.
It can't, Brian, it can't be Toretto. Toretto, we've been in with him and we see how he is and we know he's a good guy, but we found these DVDs. This palette of DVDs in Johnny Tran's garage. It had to have been him. He's trying to make every excuse in the book that it wasn't him and it was somebody else, and Johnny Tran didn't do anything wrong. Does Johnny Tran deserve to be put away? Absolutely. But legally, he didn't do that. He can't get put away. Yeah. And Toretto might morally be the right guy to be around. He's got problems. He's got people he's responsible for. But legally, he's breaking the law and he has to go to jail. or prison. So,
Yeah.
it's a really interesting. I mean, it's a tale as old as time. We see it a lot. Back in the Wild West, you could just clean up the streets with a gun, but now there is a whole system. There's due process, and
Yeah.
I'm assuming it works similarly in China as it does in
Well, this is an
America.
international conspiracy. Like these are United States agents getting involved with local governance. Like Wei Shen came to Hong Kong as an American cop. Obviously, he's from Hong Kong, so he originates from here, but he's here on a mission from the United States, which is additionally interesting when you consider that Hong Kong was a British colony for decades. Maybe I don't know, 100 years maybe. It was a British colony, which is why there's so much English in Hong Kong. So a layer deeper is that you have this guy who was ushered off to the Western world, influenced by the Western world, learned things in the Western world, and then he comes back to the East, where he's trying to undermine local kind of like business. And like the local business in this sense are the Sananyu triad. So it's like they're doing dirty stuff. But the idea is that you've got a local boy who is indoctrinated by the West coming back to destroy the East. That is the perspective of the locals, of the people in the Sananyi. It's like, brother, you left us and you got indoctrinated and now you're trying to destroy us.
And also we're starting at the bottom.
Yes. But for Wei, it's like, you guys are clearly doing like very evil stuff, and well, I guess he kind of makes himself culpable.
And so now we have as players assuming the role of Wei Shen, it might be a little bit easier to find ourselves getting lost in that triad culture, because we might learn about these people. We might learn about why do they do the things that they do.
Dude, I only want the best for Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie Ma. I mean, look, I like Jackie.
I like Jackie.
You gotta, just because somebody does a bad thing. Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad says it the best. He's like, I've known bad cops and good criminals. Just you can be a criminal and not be a bad person.
Dude, you're talking. I mean, that's the Wreck-It Ralph motto. What did he say? I'm a bad guy and that's good, or what? But I can be a bad guy and not be bad, or something like that.
Yeah. So it's like you can do bad things, but what's the motive behind it? Maybe it's just how someone knows how to live. But either way, that's our stopping spot, which is really interesting. Really good spot to stop. At this point, you can go do some more side questing. But we need to decide on our next stopping spot. That was kind of a big chunk. What I was about to ask. That was kind of a big chunk. Do you want to do like a smaller chunk this time around?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was able to get through it. I started, I guess, technically a couple days early, but I got all of my playtime in early. I like by Tuesday of last week,
I'm
I
the
was
opposite.
caught up.
I was like, oh, it's finally my day off. I can finally squeeze it in.
I was so excited to play. I've been having a great time with it.
We stopped at Chain of Evidence, which is technically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That was 10 missions. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do, because if we do 10 more, I mean, we'll be like more than halfway through the list.
Would that be such that we could do a large chunk to finish it in 3 episodes or 4 episodes to talk about cleanup? Or would it be better to do another big chunk and then 2 smaller? Like, it sounds like, because I'm not looking at the list, it sounds like
we could probably do it in 2 more sessions.
Okay. I'm down, dude. The story missions themselves aren't long. It's really just a matter of how much.
And we're gonna get less tutorial this time around. It's gonna get you more like just do it as you want.
And
let's do this.
Movement.
Let's do. I'll count off another 10. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Initiation. Let's play through the mission called Initiation. And then
let's do it.
We'll have a little bit extra.
Let's put that in chat.
Oh, oops. Yeah, we'll have a little bit extra. The third playthrough will be more than 3. I mean, more than 10. It'll be like closer to 12 or 13.
That's okay. I'm sure by that point I won't be side questing as much.
Yeah, yeah. What I'm planning on doing is next time I play, I want to get to where I have like most of the areas open and just do like one session of just side questing. And then we
Yeah.
could talk about side quests and stuff maybe later. There's nothing like super pressing with side quests. But yeah, let's do that. So initiation will be our play
Okay.
through the mission initiation, and that will be where we stop for our next playthrough.
The next mission is payback. Right? After Chain of Evidence?
Correct. Correct.
All right, so from payback to initiation, that's our chunk for part 2
And
of
then
Sleeping
whatever you want to do in
Dogs.
between.
Yeah, whatever you want to do in between, which I have things I want to get up to. There's stuff that I left unfinished in my last play session, so I still have some side questing to do. But man, what a tremendous chunk of game. I'm enjoying it a great deal.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm scrolling my mind trying to remember if there's any other thing I wanted to talk about. We didn't really talk about like the Fight Club, but that's okay. We can get to that.
I haven't
later.
done any like Fight Club stuff yet. Like I said, I'm planning on doing all my side questing stuff once I kind of open it all up, once it's all available. I do want to say that Sleeping Dogs is a game that I picked up launch day when it came out. I liked it then. I think now, playing it in retrospect, it does feel more dated. But what's the most interesting is the main course. The story and the main mission gameplay is a lot of fun. I'm not nearly as interested in a lot of the side stuff this go around, like doing the fight clubs. I've always been interested in because it's just fighting. But I'm not as interested in doing the street racing as much. I'm not as interested in doing the favors outside of just getting that face meter upgrade.
What about girlfriends? Are you going to be doing the girlfriend missions?
I'll be doing them, but I don't remember them necessarily being very memorable at all. Like I can't remember what happens with them. I just remember one of them, Wei Shen, comes off as a complete dirtbag in one of them.
Oh, sweet! I gotta see what that means.
I can't remember which one it is, but one of them, I remember being like, "Oh man, Wei Shen, man, they're kind of in the wrong on this one." Nothing wrong with a flawed character.
Sun on Yi.
But yeah, that's all I want to touch on is so far, not like still absolutely blown away, but still having a great time.
Yeah, fair enough. I played it for the first time in 2015 when I picked up the definitive edition, and that's where I played. That's the only time I ever played it. I played.
Yeah, the definitive edition is much better, by the way. Looks much better.
I played roughly this chunk, but further because, but I don't remember what the last thing I saw was. So it might. It's probably going to be in this next chunk of games. So we're soon going to get to stuff that is going to be novel to me. But the one thing I wanted to end this conversation on is the concept of a game pastiche, because this game is ideas that other developers innovated, all brought together for the first time in this specific package. And I'm not trying to make a value judgment on it. That's not necessarily good or bad. I guess it's just a matter of how it all shakes out. But Sleeping Dogs is literally just a combination of other gaming ideas that other people figured out, put together. And that's, again, not a value judgment, but you see that a lot these days. And a game like Crimson Desert just came out, and it was also a pastiche of other game design ideas that others figured out. But it sounds like it wasn't put together in the best possible way. Because, I mean, you've got, with Sleeping Dogs, the Arkham combat system and the driving kind of open world chicanery of Grand Theft Auto.
Here's something to remember is that this game survived development hell.
Yeah, for
as
sure.
well. And let me see. Let me pull it up one more time. When apparently there's a movie called Sleeping Dogs. It came out in 2024. It was being developed. Let's see. Hold on, I'm looking for it. In 2007.
Yeah, that's insane.
And just for some references, 2007. Man, dude, can I just tell you how much I hate Google's AI overview, dude? I hate it
I know, it sucks.
so much. I'm trying to find just notable releases of games.
In 2007?
2007.
BioShock?
Uh,
I think that was the 2007 one.
yeah, just for reference, these are the games that were coming out in 2007. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, Assassin's Creed 1, Orange Box, BioShock, Super Mario Galaxy, God of War 2, Metroid
Incredible
Prime 3,
year.
Lost Planet, Mass Effect, Halo 3, Crysis, The Witcher 1, Eternal Sonata, Ratchet & Clank, the first PS3 game, Tools of Destruction, and the first Uncharted. So, I mean, think about how much the ideas for the game were established in 2007 to be extended and revitalized in 2012. So the game already was going to be dated before it even came out. So what we have here is, you got to remember that it games that come out of development hell, man, you got to give them a little bit of a pass.
Well, I think the patchwork of other games kind of ideas, that can be okay if there is, and this is something I was talking about at the end of Super Metroid, that can be okay if the crimson thread of story and characters is strong enough to push you through. If the story and characters of Sleeping Dogs weren't strong, the combat and exploration of the game wouldn't be strong enough to keep me engaged or to have it as a podcast. Like, we wouldn't be talking about it. But it's because they integrated that kind of Hong Kong action film, golden age story in this patchwork of game ideas that it works, and it's okay.
I think that's
it's
the
not
soul.
going.
That's the soul.
It's
of the
going
game.
to become it was destined to become a cult classic. It wasn't destined to be the greatest game that came out the year it came out. It was destined to be like a hidden gem. And I think that's okay for what it is. It doesn't have to be Super Metroid influencing every game forever. It's okay that it's like a hidden gem patchwork of ideas because the story is interesting and I care about where it's going. And I'm a sucker for mob fiction.
I think there's just not a lot of games that do the themes of like the Chinese crime world. I mean, Yakuza does Japanese, but
yeah, you got Stranglehold.
You don't get a lot of like that Hong Kong setting. So I remember hearing there was rumors that Watch Dogs 3 was going to be in Hong Kong. I remember being super excited about that.
Yeah, dude.
And it ended up not being, and it was such a letdown.
In London. Yeah, it was.
But yeah, I think that is the show.
That's it. That's going to do it for Sleeping Dogs Part 1.
Yeah, so play through Initiation, grab yourself a pork bun, maybe a Dragon Kick energy drink.
Yep.
And play through Initiation. We'll see you next time on the Game Pack. I'm Brandon. Thanks so much for listening.
I'm Tyler.
See you next time.